Всем привет and welcome back to another Tip Thursday with me, Connor Klein. This is Azar Experience and greetings from a very chilly Minsk, the capital of Belarus. I'm just here in the historical part of the city, right in the city center. It's called Verkhy Gorod. And in today's video, I'm going to be going into the 5 do's and don'ts for Belarusian etiquette, the things that you need to watch out for on a trip to Belarus. Let's get into the video. So every country has its superstitions, right? And Belarus is no different to other countries, and the reason there are different things that people believe will happen that are based basically on belief, not based on, actual evidence. So I went and I looked up online for Belarusian superstitions. Now, of course, I've only been in the country for a little while, and I'm not really sure if they're true. So what I've decided to do is to bring on a Belarusian friend. And Dasha here, she's going to tell me whether it's really true what I've read online or whether it's completely rubbish. So the first one, Dasha, I think it's probably a very pertinent one for you as well and for lots of ladies here in Belarus. What I read is that you're not allowed to sit on the corner of a table, otherwise you won't be able to get married for 7 years. Is that true? Because I put her on a round table.
Yeah, that's weird superstitions, but yeah, that's true. That's actually true. And all the people do believe that if a young girl sit on the corner of the table, she wouldn't get married for the next 7 years.
7 years. So it's just as well I'll put you on a round table, because then there's no problems. Do you look for round tables or?
Actually, I don't really believe in it, but sometimes when I sit on the corner, I'm like, maybe it's better to sit.
You see that, right? So she believes a little bit. She believes a little bit, right? So cool. Let's get on to the next do and don't for Belarus. One of the big do's for coming to Belarus is registration. Now, if you come in the visa-free program, you get 30 days visa-free if you fly in and out of Minsk airport. But if you stay longer than 5 business days, you have to actually register with the police at a special immigration office. Now, if you fail to do that, there is a fine, not just for you, but also for the person who's hosting you. If it happens to be like an apartment, like an Airbnb apartment, or maybe you have a friend who's hosting you in Belarus. And it's a monumental pain in the ass, basically. You go there, you waste several hours of your life, pay them about 10 euros, $12. But if you don't do that, then they are gonna fine you. The fine is actually pretty big. It can be up to around 500 euros, that's probably around $550, maybe about 600 US dollars. Yeah, it also stops you being very flexible about your trip, because maybe you came here originally for 5 or 6 days, you have to buy your insurance. When you arrive on the visa-free, you can buy that in Minsk airport on the left when you arrive at the moment, and it's not very expensive. It's probably around $1 or €1 a day. But then if you want to extend, like maybe you didn't have a flight out of the country when you arrived and you decide, hey, I'm going to stay actually more than the 5 days, I go register, and maybe you're going to stay 10 days, then you're going to go buy extra insurance, and say you register and then you decide to stay longer than you had on your registration. Yes, you got to go back to the office again, re-register, pay another 10 euros, $12, and put in your new address also if you change your address while you're here. So it's pretty onerous. I really hope that the Belarusian government gets rid of that requirement as soon as possible. So that's something you really got to be careful of and make sure you do, because you don't want to get fined when you're leaving the country. So another thing to be aware of, that actually cussing or swearing is also a finable offense here in Belarus if it's in public.
Блядь.
Блядь?
Блядь. Пиздец нахуй, блядь!
Now, of course, if you speak a language that the police or anyone here is not going to understand, that's probably something you don't need to be concerned about. But definitely if you speak Russian, obviously, and you're going around swearing, just be aware that I looked up the fine. I think it was like $50 US, like 40 euros basically. So something to remember when here, that this kind of is not just frowned upon, it's actually a punishable offense. So just try to keep your filthy mouth, that dirty mouth of yours, under control while you're here in Minsk in Belarus. I've just come out of the metro. Now this is important because they've recently changed the law here in Belarus that you can actually take photos inside there in the metro in Minsk. Now, previously that actually was illegal. You weren't allowed to do that, and you need to be still careful if you're going to take photos, say at governmental buildings or the train station. There are technically still places where you're not allowed to film or take photographs. Now, if you're there and you're using your phone or something and it's really amateur looking, I think it's unlikely that a police officer is going to come over and, you know, fine you or give out to you or make you delete the photos. But if you do have more professional equipment, like maybe a DSLR camera, then it is still possible that you will get questioned or something, or maybe they will fine you and make you delete your photos, which would be unfortunate. Just be aware of that. I've actually never had a problem when I've filmed, but here, the metro now, since the summer of 2018, is a place where you can film, so that's great. So let's go down and actually take a look in the metro. Why not? This is Zabitskaya, and this is the main street where it's in the center of Minsk with lots of bars and nightlife. So if you come here and you're interested in having some fun, some parties at the weekend, then this is a street you're definitely going to visit. Now, you do need to realize that even though Belarusians are supposedly the people who consume the most alcohol per capita in the world, I'm not entirely sure if that's true, but that was a report from the World Health Organization. You cannot actually drink here on the street in public. That's actually something that you can get fined from. So even though the alcohol is free flowing and you might be having a wild party, remember that alcohol not on the street, in the bars and clubs for sure. Also, if you go to the metro where I was earlier and you're inebriated, like you're really drunk, the guards there who man the entrance to the metro can refuse your entry. So just bear all these things in mind, that even though this is a country that alcohol is of course not frowned upon and it's very, very common, it can still cause some problems for you if you're drunk in public and if you're drinking in public. So if your nose is itchy, what does that mean? Like you feel like you want to scratch it?
That you're gonna drink today.
But I think Belarusians drink every day, right? You're like the highest drinkers per capita in Europe.
No, that's not true actually.
That's according to the World Health Organization. That's what I read.
No,
they have Belarus number one.
No,
You're number one.
We used to be number one.
Who beat you?
Not
Who's better?
anymore.
I actually read that Ireland was like a little bit lower down the list than I expected us
Maybe
to be.
Ireland, yeah.
Well,
Maybe Ireland. I don't know.
yeah,
But
we're really number one, of course, in drinking. Yeah. So that's the end of today's video. I hope you appreciate it. If you're planning to come here to Belarus, now you're going to know the 5 things that you need to watch out for and be very careful and aware of when you come to visit, so that you don't get in trouble maybe with the authorities and get fined, or you don't upset your new Belarusian friends. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, strike that like button, and make sure that you're subscribed by squeezing that red subscribe button, and I gotta do it this way, whacking the notification bell so that you're notified when I'm uploading videos from not just here in Belarus, but also in other countries in the region like Ukraine. I've done a lot of videos there during the summer. Now you see the weather is completely different. I'm probably going to be going to Russia in the coming months, so I know a lot of you have asked for me to do more videos, to do actually any videos from Russia, because I haven't filmed there yet. And also there's a chance that I'll be coming to the Baltics. So I'm gonna go and try and warm up inside and yeah, apply that good Belarusian etiquette with maybe a vodka or a wine or something like that, or at least a soup, because yeah, it's pretty chilly today. See you guys and all your smiling, enthusiastic faces for Eastern Europe in the very next video. Do svidaniya.
SAR Experience.